What's up, guys? Here at the Perry Natural Area, Avalonia Land Conservancy, Stonington, Connecticut, North Anguilla Drive, or North Anguilla Road. Awesome place, all right? We're gonna take a look at this place on LiDAR for sure, man. Check all these rock walls out. Just a coming together of rock walls. It's nuts, man. Big pile of rocks right here. Maybe a cairn, probably farmer piling up rocks to get them out of the way. This place is freaking awesome. All right, I'm gonna try to work my way to a couple features here. I'm not sure how close you guys are to this. I know many of you, this is probably a short drive. This is a place you could get to. Here in Pawcatuck, North Anguilla. So a little bit about the Perry Natural Area. Avalonia acquired this in 1982, so it's been preserved land for decades now, you know, coming up on 40 years. And in that time, you know, it's flourishing. You can see the growth, new growth, a lot of softwood pines growing here. Loads of rock walls back here. This was some serious farmland. If you know North Anguilla, the North Anguilla area, you know that there's a lot of farming going on. This is like the breadbasket of Stonington, if you will, you know, where we still have a lot of functioning farms, and this place is pretty cool. So, and it was in fact a farm, and this has been cultivated land for centuries. And in the last few decades, as Stonington has grown as a town, you know, we've seen a lot of development of areas like this. So, taking a look, I'm pretty well into the trail here. I started down here. That's the entrance. That's where my truck is parked. I've worked my way down to you are here, as you can see. I'm going to be going a little bit further on the blue trail, and we're going to be working our way over to a cellar foundation, a well for water retention and reclamation, and we're going to be working our way over to a cemetery. All right, and I'm going to be showing this to you for a couple reasons. There are a couple great examples of this kind of spot around Stonington. Another great example is the Hoffman Evergreen Preserve, which is on 201, almost in North Stonington. I've talked about that a little bit in class, but we'll be going there as well. But the reason why this is such a great thing for us to look at this specific nature preserve is it's like, this is what Stonington High School was. You know, if Stonington High School and Davis Standard and the police station and human services and all that, if that had never been developed and was kept as farmland, it's very possible it could have ended up being like this. You know, old family land, you know, the Stonington High School area, that's the Robinson family over here, the Perry family. You know, if it hadn't been developed, we would have access. We'd be seeing these places more in this state. So when you think of Stonington High School, when we go back in to the Cellar Hole Foundation, you know, we're walking down Spellman Drive and we're leaving a $42 million building when the high school was built back in 2004, and there's all kinds of, you know, the football field and the baseball field and softball and all that stuff. It's all been developed. This area has not. It's been kept. It's been preserved for us and for wildlife. As an example, this is the Cellar Hole Foundation right here. You know, the people lived here. It's still here. You can see it's very overgrown, and nature is definitely doing its work to take it back, but it's a fairly intact cellar hole. Pretty cool. If we look over here, I don't know if I'm going to be able to see it with you guys today, but yeah. Oh, here we go. So you can see, it's hard to see it in here, guys, but there's a rock pile debris field. It's kind of difficult to say. I might have to see if I have a photo of this from the winter time. But a rock pile debris field from the chimney that once stood at this foundation. And it fell, you know, chimney's first to go, man. Gravity does its thing. Here, check this out. The well. Okay, where they would harvest water. They dug a well, lined it with stone down into the water table so they could access water, so they could have fresh water from the water table. There are aquifers all through here, this area of town. There's great resources for fresh drinking water. All right, and that's desirable if you're settling on land. I mean, that's a must. So instead of having to live right next to a water source or having to travel to a water source, this land has one running right underneath it. So the ingenuity of man, wells, digging a well, getting down into that water table. Pretty cool. So that's still here. That's hundreds of years old. Legitimately, we're talking 1700s, possibly earlier than that, and possibly late 1600s. People living on this land here in Stonington, the first people outside of the indigenous people, of course, the first Europeans coming here, starting to settle this area and live in the town we now live in. So, much of that history has been wiped out. Certainly the native history, but even for the Europeans that came here. So places like this are pretty special, and I would love for you guys to get out and check this out yourself, because it's right here. It's in your town. Another large rock pile. Most certainly this is just farmers doing their work, building rock walls as they come across, as they clear their land and create suitable growing conditions. They would pile up rocks, create, maybe the plan was, hey, we'll use this for something, we'll build a foundation, for structure, a paddock, a rock wall, whatever it may be. Okay, so we see a lot of those back here. So coming up on something pretty crazy here that I definitely want to share with you. So remember, kind of comparing this location to Stonington High School. Next to Stonington High School, between Stonington SHS and Davis Standard, we have the Robinson Yard, and we have a version of that here as well. We have a cemetery here in the middle of the woods off North Anguilla on the Perry Preserve. We see here, in memory of Lucy, wife of Prentice Brown, who died September 21st, 1811, in the 73rd year of her age. Here's Lucy's husband, Prentice Brown, who died October 23rd, 1811. So they died about a month apart from each other in the 70th year of his age. So this couple who lived on this land, this was often how it was done. You had your family burial plot. We see the headstone and the footstone still standing, still there. There's more. Here, these are some old burial areas, guys. I mean, this is earlier than, here we see people who passed away in 1811, in their 70s. These people here, these grave markings, really don't have much outside of the stone itself. A headstone and a footstone. That term headstone, this is what it means. And we see these all through here. These aren't just random stones placed here. These are burial spots, plots. Okay, so these are early colonial era burial spots. Over here, Prentice and Lucy Brown, using them as our marker, kind of our line of demarcation, if you will. They passed away in 1811. 1811. They were born before we were a country, before the United States of America existed. These people were born. They were born before America started as a country, before they lived through the Revolutionary War. These people here, these burial spots, are older than that. I mean, legitimately, guys, we're talking very, very early settlers. These were people that most certainly came from Europe and traveled across the Atlantic Ocean and came here and settled on this land. Some of the first people, and they lived here. And when they came here, they developed this land. They cleared it. They used the resources. They burned wood for fuel. They built homes. They were tasked with sending natural resources back to Europe to be turned into finished products, to then in turn be brought back here to be sold to them. That's colonialism. That's a key feature of that system. But they were the first ones here. They lived here off this land that we live on, and this is one of the great preserves here in Stonington that pretty much nobody ever, I've never seen a person back here ever. I've been back here several times. I've never seen a person back here. We're gonna do some evaluations of this area on LiDAR, Google Maps. I encourage you guys to get out here. It's an awesome spot. And again, it's a great example of sort of what we have at Stonington High School, just it hasn't been developed. It's been preserved. And with that, we'll sign off. Eddie loves getting out here too. All right, guys, I'll talk to you later.